How you going, people? Yeah, that's pretty good. Cops do pretty good here. This post by... Damn, YouTube unsubscribed me? Freaking little weasels. Disclaimer, this video, what is it? Greenfield police officer observed a vehicle matching the description of a stolen. The officer attempted to stop. Suspect fled. 3 passengers fled on foot. The driver continued in a reckless behavior. Attempted to flee the stolen vehicle, fully marked. The officers were not injured. Continued attempt top set. After several attempts, the vehicle was disabled. 19-year-old was placed in custody. In this video, mark this day, cops did a good job. Rick, you can't say the cops did a good job. They're all pieces of crap. Well, the majority of the videos I watch, they're out of control. In this case, these cops did a good job because they could have shot him and got away with it, and they didn't. And to me, that's what makes a good cop. Just because you have the power to use deadly force doesn't mean you should or you have to. So, pretty interesting video. They kind of speed it up here on the chase, and then it gets to the pit. I don't think this is me. Yeah, this is normal speed, so we sped up for because it was a long chase. Okay, so obviously this guy's driving pretty reckless. He needs to be stopped. He's going fast. He's doing some things that he shouldn't. And he's in a stolen car, which is a felony. I used to think felonies were big, but now they make felonies shit. You can spit on a sidewalk as a felony. Anyway, so they're chasing him because he's in a stolen car. Okay, so now I think he's driving on incoming traffic. That can be pretty dangerous. Obviously, can kill some people. This guy needs to be stopped. Does he need to be shot? Probably not. And here comes a pit maneuver. Pit maneuver, I forgot the technical term. Shit. Something precision. I don't know. Whatever. I used to know it. So he hits the rear. When you pit somebody, basically you want to spin the rear of the car out. It kind of locks up the transmission. Normally it'll cause a stall if it's done right when a car turns sideways. And this one doesn't. See, I think as soon as he went here, the officer should have probably kept his speed. I would have rather this tire being up on my hood, because then I know he couldn't leave. But the cop stops and... Okay, so people are running from the car now because he's crashed. These are people running to return their late doctor's books because they didn't have their doctor school, whatever. And this guy is driving like a maniac. Now, this guy does a lot of property damage. Should you be shot for causing property damage? He endangers his officer, too. Show me your hand! I got my moment! So now he just rammed the police car that's filming. Again, deadly force, authorized. If they shot him, would it be justified? Absolutely. Nobody would question it. This would never go to trial, never go to grand jury. The DA would be like, yeah, this guy was in danger. Your life was in danger. Justified. But they don't shoot him. This guy's probably in the most danger. I would have probably suggested or thought to move. Sometimes you get tunnel vision. And he locked on a threat. He doesn't leave. He's on the radio. He's yelling at this guy, and he's pointing a gun. So he's seriously multitasking. When I say multitasking, technically, there's a lot of studies that you can't multitask. You can only do one thing at a time. You can just switch back and forth very quickly, and it appears that you're multitasking, but there's a lot of evidence in people that say you cannot multitask. People that say they multitask don't. You can only do one thing at a time. So he's pointing his gun, talking on the radio, and screaming at the suspect, and trying to keep the door in between him. Squad responding. Should be at 11th. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that say this cop is stupid. He should have shot. Why didn't he just shoot the guy? He's weak. I think this guy is showing good restraint, and there was no reason to kill him. I think he's smart. I think he's going to have a better life than run around thinking he killed some 19-year-old kid who's being an idiot. But you know what? There's other cops. I mean, look, when we chase stolen cars, and again, I worked auto theft for several years. Stolen cars are usually young kids that steal cars. That's your major car thief, so your young kids. Rick, that's profiling. You can't say, well, I'm telling you, we profiled. Young kids steal cars. And young kids drive reckless and run. And when they get run on the brain, they will not stop. Even though there's a gun, they think, he won't shoot me. So it's very easy to start shooting everybody that steals a car. And I think we're there. I mean, I don't trust cops for as far as I can throw them. But these cops do a good job. This guy does a good job in my book. I'm sure a lot of cops will say he's not. He should have shot him. He's given law enforcement a bad name. We want people scared of us. We want the blue line to stick together and kill everybody that challenges our authority. So there'll be the cops in that camp. I'm not. I think this guy does a great job.
Oklahoma.
Does this guy look like he's trying to kill the cops, or does he look like he's panicking trying to get away? Rick, he's still endangering, and it's justified, and they should have shot him, and why do you want to risk it if he gets away? Look, if and butts and coconuts, people. You know, I always say the outcome of an incident will always dictate whether a guy's stupid. If this guy turns the car, smashes his car door, and kills this cop, everyone would say this cop is a dumbass. He should have shot him. But because he doesn't get hurt, he maintains, the guy gets into custody and they don't have to kill him, he's a hero. I don't know if he's a hero. I think he's just being reasonable. I don't think I need to kill him. I also think he has options. He can jump in his car for protection. He can leave. He can run away. He could jump on the hood of the police car and get away. He has options. It's not like he has to stay here.
Yeah, boy, they started at 270 late, and I think they're trying to make a exit there. They're northbound on 11th at Oklahoma.
So obviously anybody could say when he's turning the steering wheel, well, I'll do some cop-splaining here, my legal force on the stand. Well, the suspect was told to stop, and he endangered the officers, and when his hands went to reach at the bottom of the steering wheel, as an officer who's trained to keep his eye on the hands, when his hands went out of my sight, I was in fear of my life because I thought he was going for a weapon, so I did a mag dump, reload, and got my long gun and shot him 14 times because I was in fear of my life. So that's what could have easily been explained. It's bullshit, but it would have flew, because bullshit flies when the thin blue line says the truth, and everyone else must be lying. Finally, the cop bails, gets out of there, creates distance. Good for him. He gets out of the danger zone, so he doesn't have to shoot the guy. Again, I'm okay with that.
Okay, we ran it with drugs here. Somebody go!
Any one of these cops could have shot and killed him, would have been 100% justified. Again, I think the cops did the right thing. We don't need to be killing people because they're stupid. You'll notice when this guy finally gets caught and he has no place to go, he throws his hands up and gives up. This guy doesn't have a weapon. Most car thieves don't carry guns. They steal cars.
Reverse on the road, how he crashed and turned. Just one.
And I know somebody come here saying I'm protecting the criminal. This kid's a freaking idiot. He's stupid. He's lucky to walk away from here. He gave all these cops justified. He's endangering people. He's a freaking idiot. But there'll be people who are, he's just picking on the cops and he's defending the criminal. Shut up, you freaking idiots.
Stop that cop! 10-9, that last transmission. Don't push him anymore, he's trapped where he's out there.
Like a scared rat, he will keep trying until he can't. That's all. When you start running, that's all they want to do is run, run, run. If you would think about it, he'd get out and start running. You know, people say, why do crooks always run? They're going to get caught. There's a helicopter. There's 14 cops. Because when you're in that flight mode and that fear and you're running for your freedom and you know you're going to jail and you know you're about to be locked away, you will not stop fighting until you either, one, have no option, or two, you just can't fight anymore.
So stop trying to get away from us here. We need MPD here. MPD was not the driver in the car. He's blaming us.
So you notice this cop is seriously beating on this back window trying to bust it, even while this guy is going back and forth. I guarantee you, some cop is going to be showing this in a police academy, saying this guy, deadly force was authorized, and these officers uselessly or unnecessarily put their lives at risk and put the public at risk because we're there to protect the public. And we should have shot and killed this guy. These officers were wrong, and they should have shot and killed him because it was justified, because it was authorized, because they would have found not guilty, and they would have been able to put a notch on their belt and prove that they are the thin blue line, and they're able to kill people. That's what will be taught in the academy, I guarantee you.
Okay, we're going outside. This guy is still trying to get away. He's doing pretty good.
Now, for defense attorneys ought to be grabbing this video, and when their client is shot uselessly for no reason, and the cops go, well, I was in fear of my life, they should be showing this video saying, why are these officers able to deal with a guy with a 1,000-pound vehicle ramming back and forth, and they were able to control their emotions and not shoot this guy, and yet your officers shot my guy when he dropped his donut on the ground and went down to pick it up? Why is it that these officers were able to control themselves and not shoot? This is a good defense attorney for the jury to say, hey, if these cops can do it, why are all these other freaking cops spraying and praying for freaking, scratching your head and they thought you had a weapon in your head? Once he figures out he can't go, he throws his hands up. He's got a guy with a gun here. They got the door open. He knows he's screwed. He throws his hands up. Rick, they should have shot him. He was a danger. Well, that's because you're an idiot. I mean, if you believe that, that's why we have tyrannical law enforcement. That's why government is so out of control. Because idiots out there have become normalized with cops just shooting people when they don't have to. Cops only used to shoot people when we had no other option. It was a life or death, last minute, last second option that we shot. Well, back then, more cops were getting shot. Maybe. More men were getting shot. More men who weren't cowards out there shooting everybody. It's easy to say, well, if there's a chance I'll get shot, I'll just kill everybody. Yeah, that's a great plan, you freaking idiots. The door was unlocked the whole time. Anybody could open the door and grabbed him. Shocking. Nobody tried to open the door. Now, jumping on him and slamming him, was that necessary? The guy put his hands up. It's over. I'm a biggie on once a dude stops fighting, it's over. Okay? I didn't like cops that like that little revenge, and I'm all jacked up, and now I'm going to beat the hell out of you because you're giving up, because you're not fighting back, because you're an easy target. I'll get my punches in. I think I told a crazy cop story where I got a cop in the Air Force kicked out of cops for doing stupid shit like that. But anyway. So I don't think all this was necessary. The guy put his hands up. He would have got out, probably put his hands behind his back. But these cops are jacked up. Well, Rick, that's better than shooting him. Look, we can't justify things that government does as better. Okay? Everybody says the U.S. is the greatest freedom country in the world. No, we're not. It's just every other country sucks so much, we just happen to be better than them. It doesn't make us the best. And so you shouldn't make standards so freaking low that, well, since they could have killed him, if they beat the hell out of him, stomp him, and kick him in the head, that's better than killing him, so we're okay with that. That's not what you do. You hold government to a high standard and you control their power. Otherwise, they abuse it and they become tyrannical. Okay, overall, cops did a great job. Good job, Greenfield, for not shooting him and using restraint and being men, not scared pussies that are running around spraying and praying. A freaking one-legged chihuahua with no eyes, freaking because you were inferior life. Freaking idiots. I'm so tired of your inferior life from these freaking pussy cops. But I digress. This is a good, happy ending. The car thief was saved. 14 other cars got trashed. Insurance companies are happy. And premiums will go up everywhere. Everybody's happy. Government gets paid. Bad guys in jail. Yeehaw! Nobody got killed. We'll end it there.